Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that the single most important person in your life, the one who will determine your success, your happiness, and your future, is sitting right in front of you, looking back in the mirror? And what if I told you that most people spend their entire lives ignoring that person, giving their energy to everyone else, and wondering why they feel unfulfilled? Today, I'm going to show you why the moment you start thinking about yourself always, everything changes: your choices, your purpose, and the life you are truly capable of creating. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a moment to pause and ask ourselves a simple but profound question. When was the last time you truly thought about yourself? I don't mean just the surface level, your schedule, your responsibilities, the obligations that pull you in 1,000 directions, but the real you. Your dreams, your potential, your values. Too often, we get caught in a cycle of serving everyone else, prioritizing everyone's needs but our own, and we forget the single most important person in our life, ourselves. To lead others, to give to others, to create meaningful impact, you must start here, thinking about yourself always. Think about it this way: you cannot pour from an empty cup, and yet we live in a culture that rewards self-neglect. We glorify being busy, being available, sacrificing our own needs for the comfort of others. And while it may feel noble, it's actually destructive. Every day, by ignoring your own growth, your own clarity, your own well-being, you are slowly eroding the foundation upon which your life is built. The people who influence you, the work you create, the relationships you cultivate, these all suffer when you fail to think about yourself. Thinking about yourself doesn't mean being selfish. It means being deliberate. It means taking responsibility for your own life, for your own happiness, for your own growth. It means asking yourself, what do I want? What excites me? What challenges do I need to face to become the person I was meant to be? These questions are not indulgent, they are essential. When you take the time to answer them, you start to see the world differently. You start to lead differently. You start to live differently, and let's be clear, this is not a one-time event. Thinking about yourself is a habit, a practice, a mindset. It is waking up each day and asking, am I living in alignment with my values? Am I making choices that serve the person I am becoming? And if the answer is no, you course correct, you change direction. You make tough decisions, because thinking about yourself always means being honest with yourself. And honesty is the engine of transformation. Here's the paradox: when you focus on yourself in this way, you don't become disconnected from the world. You become more connected, you become a stronger partner, a more inspiring leader, a more generous friend. Because when you understand your own needs, your own limits, your own purpose, you can show up fully for others. Not out of obligation, but out of abundance. You can give without losing yourself. You can lead without draining yourself. You can love without sacrificing your own growth. Imagine a life where you are unapologetically committed to your own development. Imagine the energy you could bring to every room, every relationship, every decision. Imagine the clarity you could gain about what truly matters, rather than being swept along by the noise of external expectations. That life is not a fantasy. It begins the moment you decide to prioritize yourself, the moment you embrace the responsibility to think about yourself always. Every decision you make, every action you take, every relationship you invest in should reflect this truth. Your life is yours to shape, and the person you must never neglect is the one looking back at you in the mirror. By thinking about yourself always, you reclaim your power, you sharpen your focus. You ignite your potential, and in doing so, you create a life that is not just lived, but truly led. You owe it to yourself to think deeply, consistently, courageously, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Because the world will never pause for you, and your life deserves nothing less than your full, undivided attention. To neglect thinking about yourself is to settle for mediocrity, but to embrace it is to step into the extraordinary. When you begin to think about yourself always, you start to notice patterns in your own behavior. You begin to see the moments when you give too much to things that do not serve you, when you compromise your values for temporary comfort, when you settle for less than you deserve. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. You cannot improve what you do not recognize, and you cannot grow without the courage to face the truth of your own life. This is not easy. Thinking about yourself always requires bravery. It requires a willingness to look inward and confront the parts of yourself that you have ignored, denied, or neglected. It means asking the hard questions and refusing to be satisfied with easy answers. Thinking about yourself is not selfish, it is strategic. It is about building a life where your actions are aligned with your purpose, where your energy is directed toward meaningful goals, and where your mind and body are protected from unnecessary drain. Every choice you make either moves you closer to the person you want to become or pulls you further away. The moment you recognize this, you realize that your life is not a random series of events, it is a series of decisions. And the power to shape those decisions rests entirely with you. You may wonder, how do I start thinking about myself without feeling guilty? The truth is, guilt is the sign that you are conditioned to prioritize others over your own growth. It is the voice of habit, of expectation, of societal pressure. But the most successful, the most fulfilled, the most impactful people in the world are not the ones who suppress their needs. They are the ones who embrace them, who honor themselves with the same intensity they honor their responsibilities. Guilt fades when you realize that prioritizing yourself is not a betrayal. It is the foundation for everything else you care about. Start with your time. Time is the currency of life, and when you invest it wisely, you invest it in yourself. What you do with your hours, your days, your weeks determines the trajectory of your life. Do not spend them solely on pleasing others, on avoiding conflict, or on seeking approval. Spend them on building the skills that excite you, on nurturing your physical and mental well-being, on exploring the ideas that ignite your curiosity. Time invested in yourself compounds in ways you cannot immediately measure, but over the months and years, it produces exponential returns. Next, examine your relationships. Are the people around you lifting you up or holding you back? Are they contributing to your growth or distracting you from it? Thinking about yourself always means creating boundaries, not walls. It means protecting your energy while remaining open to connection. It means surrounding yourself with those who challenge you to be better, who inspire you to think bigger, and who respect your need to prioritize your life. You cannot grow in an environment that does not support your evolution, and don't forget your mind. What are you feeding it? The thoughts you allow to dominate your inner world determine how you show up in the outer world. If you fill your mind with doubt, fear, and negativity, you will act from a place of limitation. If you intentionally cultivate thoughts of possibility, courage, and self-respect, you will move through life with confidence and clarity. Thinking about yourself always requires mental discipline, the willingness to guard your mind, focus your attention, and reject the narratives that diminish you. Your body, too, demands attention. Health is not optional. It is the foundation upon which every ambition rests. Thinking about yourself always means honoring your body with movement, with rest, with nourishment, and with care. Neglect it, and your potential is compromised. Invest in it, and you equip yourself to perform at your best, to endure challenges, and to pursue your dreams with stamina and vigor. Most importantly, thinking about yourself always means understanding your purpose. What drives you? What would make your life meaningful? When you identify this, every choice becomes intentional. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every success becomes fuel for further growth. The world will constantly pull you in every direction, but your purpose is your compass. It keeps you anchored when chaos surrounds you, and it lights the path forward when uncertainty looms. When you make a habit of thinking about yourself, you create a ripple effect. You inspire others to do the same, not because you demand it, but because you model it. You demonstrate that it is possible to live deliberately, to honor one's own growth, and to pursue a life of intention without guilt. People are drawn to that energy, leaders are recognized for it, movements are born from it. And all of it starts with one simple commitment: to consider yourself always, to put your own growth, your own values, and your own purpose at the center of your life. Each day is an opportunity to reinforce this commitment. Each decision, each action, each thought is a chance to show up for yourself in a way that transforms your future. When you think about yourself always, you stop reacting to life and start designing it. You reclaim control over your destiny. You become the person capable of inspiring, leading, and achieving at a level you may have only imagined. This is not theoretical, it is practical, it is achievable, it is urgent, your life is your responsibility. Your potential is your obligation. And the moment you embrace the practice of thinking about yourself always, you step into a new reality, a reality where you are no longer drifting, where you are no longer compromising, where you are no longer small. You step into a life defined by clarity, courage, and conviction, where every day is an opportunity to grow, to lead, and to thrive. When you commit to thinking about yourself always, you begin to understand the power of choice. Every decision you make, from the smallest daily habit to the biggest life-altering moves, reflects your priorities, your values, and your commitment to your own growth. Too often, people live reactively. They respond to circumstances, to other people's expectations, to the pressures of society rather than acting intentionally. But when you place yourself at the center of your life, you reclaim the ability to choose. You become proactive, designing your life according to what truly matters to you, rather than letting life happen to you. This shift is transformative. Thinking about yourself always also means embracing discomfort. Growth is never comfortable. To think deeply about yourself is to confront the areas where you are not living fully, where fear and hesitation have held you back, where you have allowed external pressures to dictate your path. And it is uncomfortable to face these truths, but it is in discomfort that transformation occurs. Every time you challenge yourself, every time you push past the familiar, you are investing in a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more resilient. You are proving to yourself that your potential is bigger than your fear, and that your life is defined not by the limits imposed on you, but by the courage you summon within. Reflection is another crucial part of thinking about yourself always. Carve out time regularly to ask yourself the difficult questions. Am I living in alignment with my purpose? Am I spending my time and energy on what truly matters? Am I prioritizing growth over comfort? These moments of reflection are not indulgent, they are essential. Without reflection, you drift through life, repeating the same patterns, making the same mistakes, and missing opportunities for growth. Reflection illuminates the path forward. It helps you identify what is working, what needs change, and what steps will move you closer to becoming the person you are capable of being. Part of this practice is also learning to say no. Saying no is a skill, and it is one of the most important tools in thinking about yourself always. Every yes to something that does not serve you is a no to yourself. Every obligation you accept out of guilt or fear is a compromise of your potential. By learning to say no, you protect your energy, your focus, and your time. You create space for the things that truly matter, the work that excites you, the relationships that uplift you, and the experiences that deepen your understanding of yourself and the world. Saying no is not rejection, it is an affirmation of your priorities. Thinking about yourself also requires celebrating yourself. Too many people live in a constant cycle of striving and never pause to acknowledge their progress. When you honor your achievements, no matter how small, you reinforce the value of your efforts and build momentum toward greater success. Celebrating yourself is not arrogance, it is recognition. It is the acknowledgement that you are doing the work, that you are moving forward, that you are growing. And each celebration strengthens your commitment to continue investing in yourself. Another critical aspect is learning from failure. Thinking about yourself always does not mean avoiding mistakes. It means engaging with them honestly. Each failure is an opportunity to understand yourself more deeply. Your resilience, your limits, your strengths, and the areas where growth is necessary. By analyzing failures with curiosity rather than shame, you create a feedback loop that propels you forward. You learn faster, adapt quicker, and strengthen the habits that produce results. This is how excellence is built, not by avoiding setbacks, but by using them as stepping stones toward a stronger self. Your environment plays a significant role in this process. Surround yourself with people, ideas, and experiences that support your growth. Eliminate what drains your energy, distracts your focus, or diminishes your confidence. Your surroundings shape your thoughts, your behaviors, and ultimately your outcomes. Thinking about yourself always means curating your life carefully, ensuring that your environment aligns with your goals and reinforces the person you are becoming. And finally, thinking about yourself always is about embracing responsibility. You are responsible for your life, your choices, your growth, and your happiness. It is easy to blame circumstances, people, or society when things don't go as planned, but this mindset keeps you small. True empowerment comes from owning your decisions, learning from your mistakes, and taking deliberate action to design the life you want. Responsibility is not a burden, it is freedom, the freedom to create, to shape, and to lead a life that reflects your highest potential. When you internalize this principle, it changes everything. You stop waiting for permission. You stop seeking validation from others. You stop being a passenger in your own life. You start thinking, acting, and living in a way that prioritizes your growth, your purpose, and your well-being. And as you do, you become a force that inspires, a leader who acts with clarity and intention, and a person who lives fully, boldly, and unapologetically. Each day, each choice, each action becomes a declaration that you are committed to yourself, that your life matters, and that your potential is limitless. By thinking about yourself always, you create a life that is not dictated by circumstance, expectation, or fear, but by intention, courage, and purpose. You equip yourself to handle challenges with resilience, to embrace opportunities with clarity, and to contribute to the world with energy and authenticity. This is the power of putting yourself at the center of your life, not out of selfishness, but out of necessity, because the only way to give your best to the world is to first invest fully in the person you are becoming. When you truly commit to thinking about yourself always, you begin to notice how every aspect of your life is interconnected. Your health affects your energy, your mindset affects your decisions, your relationships affect your focus. And your focus affects your impact. Life is not a series of isolated events, it is a complex system, and the strongest way to influence that system is to start with yourself. When you invest in your growth, you are not just improving one part of your life, you are enhancing every part. You are creating momentum that touches everything you do, everyone you interact with, and every opportunity you pursue. Thinking about yourself always requires clarity. It requires knowing what you value and what you refuse to compromise. Too many people wander through life distracted by obligations, consumed by the expectations of others, and unaware of what truly matters to them. But clarity changes everything. It allows you to make decisions quickly and confidently. It allows you to recognize opportunities that align with your goals and to disregard those that do not. When your purpose is clear, your actions are intentional, and your energy is focused on what actually drives results. You stop living reactively, and you start living strategically. This practice also demands patience. Growth is not immediate, it is cumulative. You will not transform overnight, and you will not achieve your full potential in a single year. But every step you take to prioritize yourself compounds over time. Every book you read, every skill you develop, every boundary you enforce, every reflection you take. These small, consistent actions shape the person you are becoming. And the truth is, the impact of these actions will often exceed your imagination. Time invested in yourself is never wasted. It is multiplied in ways you may not see right away, but that define your life in the long term. Thinking about yourself always also requires courage, the courage to make decisions that others may not understand, the courage to walk away from situations that drain you, the courage to pursue goals that seem audacious. People will question you, push back, or try to influence you to conform. And in those moments, thinking about yourself means trusting your instincts, trusting your values, and trusting your vision. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is acting in spite of it, knowing that your commitment to yourself outweighs the temporary discomfort of judgment or criticism. Equally important is learning to forgive yourself. You will make mistakes. You will encounter failures. You will have moments when you do not live up to your own expectations. Thinking about yourself always does not mean being perfect. It means being honest, learning, and moving forward without carrying unnecessary shame. Every misstep is an opportunity to refine your approach, to grow stronger, and to deepen your understanding of who you are and what you want from life. Self-forgiveness is the fuel that keeps you moving when challenges arise, because it allows you to continue prioritizing your growth rather than being paralyzed by regret. Another dimension of this practice is self-investment. Thinking about yourself always means allocating resources, time, money, energy toward your development. It means seeking mentors, building skills, exploring ideas, and engaging in experiences that expand your perspective. The person who invests in themselves grows exponentially compared to the person who waits for opportunities to appear. By prioritizing your own development, you are equipping yourself to create more value, influence more people, and navigate life with greater wisdom and resilience. It also means cultivating self-awareness. To think about yourself always, you must understand your strengths and weaknesses, your triggers and passions, your patterns and tendencies. Self-awareness allows you to act intentionally rather than being led by habit or impulse. It gives you the insight to make strategic decisions, to build meaningful relationships, and to pursue paths that align with your purpose. Without self-awareness, even the most motivated person risks drifting, expending energy in ways that do not serve their ultimate goals. Thinking about yourself always also involves embracing joy, curiosity, and creativity. Life is not meant to be endured. It is meant to be explored, experienced, and expanded. When you prioritize yourself, you give permission to seek out the activities, ideas, and people that inspire you. You create space for play, experimentation, and exploration. You begin to approach life with a sense of possibility rather than limitation. The person who consistently thinks about themselves is not merely surviving, they are thriving, actively shaping a life that excites and fulfills them. Most importantly, thinking about yourself always strengthens your capacity to lead and influence others. When you operate from a place of clarity, energy, and purpose, your presence has an impact. You inspire others not by telling them what to do, but by demonstrating what is possible when a person commits to themselves. You become a role model of intentional living, showing that leadership starts within, that influence flows from self-mastery, and that the most profound change in the world begins with the courage to prioritize yourself. Every day, every choice, every action becomes a reflection of this principle. When you commit to thinking about yourself always, you stop settling for mediocrity. You stop allowing external circumstances to dictate your life. You begin to live with intention, act with purpose, and grow with consistency. And as you do, you discover the full extent of your potential, the strength, the creativity, the resilience, and the clarity that exist within you, waiting for you to claim them. This is the power of prioritizing yourself, of investing in yourself, and of committing to the lifelong practice of thinking about yourself always.